We've all been there. Heartbreak, loss, and the struggle to move on. But few have laid it all bare like Chris Aiken. In Little Victories, Chris shares his raw and powerful journey through a brutal divorce. Every painful moment, every emotional battle, and every step toward healing is captured in this honest, unfiltered story. If you've ever been through a tough breakup, Little Victories is the guide you need. Get your copy today at chrisaiken.net or on Amazon.
Hello, this is Adam from Tribulation, and you're watching CMS TV.
All right. Well, let's move on here. Let's
moving on.
Change up.
Yes.
So last night was this big Netflix Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight.
Yeah, I'm aware of it. I didn't see it. I heard about it. I heard all about the training thing. They were training for this and who's going to win this fight. And obviously Mike Tyson is, got several years on this Jake Paul, and this Jake Paul is kind of a loudmouth and, hype. That's what it is that's what makes things exciting for people to watch anything is the hype.
Sure.
And of course, Mike Tyson, a legend, in his own right, because, he was a beast in the ring, mostly in the 80s. And he's most notorious for biting the ear off of Evander Holyfield, right?
Well, that's not the most that he's famous for, but that's one of the things he's famous for.
Well, that's a huge thing that he got.
It was a huge thing, but he also was an unstoppable monster for years.
That's what I said. He was a beast.
Yeah, I think he's more known for that than Holyfield.
I don't know.
As a boxing fan, I know.
All right, but he got suspended because of that.
Well,
and then years later, he made some claim to fame. We brought this up, or at least I brought this up earlier, that he appeared in The Hangover on a couple of the movies, as well as he did like a speaking tour thing.
Yeah.
And, he's tried to branch off into different parts of his career. But I mean, the fact of the matter is, Mike Tyson has always been a beast in the ring.
Yes.
He's been a non-stoppable animal for the most part. And that's not a racial thing. That's just the fact of the matter. He's just a beast. And, the weird thing is, especially when it comes to you being a resident of Ohio, and the fact that he had Don King as his promoter for a while, he literally had a home not far from where you live.
I've been to it.
Oh yeah? Tell me that story.
I was working for a moving company over there in Bedford.
Okay.
And Mike hired our moving company to move 2 marble lions to his house that were going to be set up on his driveway.
Okay.
At the front of his driveway.
Right.
So we moved them. We moved these 2 lions and we went to his house, and he was really nice. We met him. He tipped us each 100. There was like 6 of us. He tipped each of us $100. He's really nice. I mean, he's really pretty nice. I've met Mike twice.
Okay.
That time he was super nice to me. The other time I thought I was going to get my ass beat. I think I've told this story before. I was at a New Edition show. And I was talking to somebody, and I was kind of walking backwards, like like when you're walking away from somebody.
Yeah.
I was walking backwards talking to somebody, and I banged into somebody and knocked him down, and it was fucking Mike. I knocked Mike Tyson down.
You were like John Astronomy stepping on the foot of Snake Sabo.
Yeah.
Said, hey, I'm sorry. And I said, hey, cool. And then we went about our separate ways.
Yeah, I mean, that was about it, too. I knocked him down. I was like, I turned around and I looked. I was like, oh, shit. And immediately his whole posse of people, like, got up on me. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I was like, hey, it's an accident. It's an accident. And he just got up, dusted himself off, and kind of just looked at me for a minute and just turned around and walked away. But, he didn't say nothing or didn't punch me or anything.
Yeah. Well, he looked at you once and he said, I'm not saying anything to this.
I don't think that was the case at all.
Kick my fucking ass.
I don't think that was as like one of 4 faces that were white at the New Edition show. I really don't think he looked at me with any fear.
Right.
I really don't think that was the case.
But
he just knew
also,
I fucking bumped him.
Well, of course, also the going back in history that he was married to Robin Givens.
Mm-hmm.
And went to jail because he quote unquote raped her.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if it was her. I know he beat her up.
Supposedly, allegedly.
I think it's more than allegedly. I think Mike Tyson rape. Who did he rape? Why did Mike Tyson go to jail? I don't remember. No, it was not her.
He went to jail for a while, too.
Yeah, for rape.
Yeah.
He was found guilty of raping Desiree Washington.
All right.
And by an Indiana jury. And he was given a 10-year prison sentence, 4 of which were suspended. And he came right back out of jail and was champion again in like 2 fights.
He went to jail for 6 years?
Apparently.
Was it that long? Holy shit.
Yeah, seems
but
like
it. But he didn't come out of the jailhouse with a teardrop tattoo or anything like that.
He had a big old fucking face thing later, but
but think about that. This guy's career has been marked with controversy and jail time and being ripped off and stolen from
sure.
Don King. This guy made, millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
But the weird thing is, and getting back to the whole Ohio residency.
Yeah.
Having a mansion outside of Youngstown, Ohio, of all places. Like, what was the connection there? Why of all places did he have a mansion in Eastern Ohio?
Wasn't Robin Givens from here?
I have no idea. That's the thing. I don't know the reason, but I just thought that was really weird that he had a mansion kind of out in the country, way away from everything else. Because I'd driven by it and it was just like, why in the hell did Mike Tyson have a place way out here? He's not from Ohio.
No, he's from New York, Brooklyn.
Yeah. So it's just kind of weird that was a thing. And it's like, why Ohio? Why did he have a mansion out here outside of Youngstown? Unless, of course, he was stalking Boo Boo Mancini like that,
It says here, Mike lived in Ohio for several reasons, including training at a nearby boxing camp.
Yeah, which
and
was
befriending local fighters.
Yeah, Boom Boom Mancini was from Youngstown, or is from Youngstown. He's not.
Boom Boom was already done by the time Mike came.
But my point is that where that training ground was from.
Maybe.
Maybe. It's kind of bizarre.
Yeah, I don't know why he was here, but whatever. I mean, that's neither here nor there. The bottom line is the big fight was last night.
Well, what I was trying to do was kind of give a little context to, history and what, why people would be interested in this to begin with.
Yeah. Well,
because of the
history of Mike.
40 years. Think about that. 40 years history of Mike Tyson.
Yeah. Well, the thing I want to talk about is not so much the fight.
Yeah.
It is the train wreck that was the broadcast. This was a fucking train wreck if ever I've seen one. I've never seen a big-time professional sporting event pulled off so poorly as this. This was unreal. First of all, I'm sure you've heard about this. If you didn't, I know you didn't watch it, but
I didn't watch it. I was aware of it.
Almost everybody that tried to watch it couldn't. It was fucked up. I was lucky as shit. I didn't have not so much as a blip the whole show. But I had so many people that were texting me. My mom was even texting me. She's a big fight fan too. She texted me. I mean, she's usually not up that late. She texted me at midnight and she's like, "Are you watching the fight?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Are you getting the fight?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "God damn it." She couldn't even tune into the fight.
Did she say, "God damn it, I can't tune into this thing"?
Oh yeah. She was not happy.
So where did this fight take place?
Dallas, where the Cowboys play.
Okay.
Arlington Stadium or whatever it's called.
All right, whatever they call that these
Cowboy
days.
Stadium.
Sure.
Yeah. It was 60, 70,000 people. It was a ton of people.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was packed.
I can't even imagine being a spectator in a stadium-sized place to see two guys in a little ring.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
You know, it's like watching a Metallica concert.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Somebody I know went to.
You could see the Metallica better than you could probably see Tyson.
Where the fuck is James?
Yeah. Well, you could find him because the ring is smaller, but I'm watching this thing. Every aspect was bad. Every aspect. So near the beginning of the show, they're doing, they're trying to do it like kind of like they were trying to take the blueprint from UFC, where you got some people in the crowd doing, interviewing celebrities, and you've got a desk where you've got your panel that's doing like a panel discussion, and you've got your announcers at ringside that are calling the matches. Okay? It was four fights total. And so starting with the panel was some chick I'd never seen before. Andre Ward, who is a accomplished two-time WBC champion, I think a middleweight champion. And then they were bringing up guests that were being 3 and 4. So at one point they bring up Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield. Okay. Now I want to remind you again, this is Netflix. Netflix is this was probably $100 million event. I mean, legitimately, it was a giant budget, big time, their first live event. They're trying with all the big splash to make it huge, right? So they get to interviewing these people. The two are interviewing Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield, and they're trying to ask Mike, what do you think Mike has to do to win or whatever?
And how old is Mike Tyson? Is he
58?
All right. I knew he was close to 60.
Yeah, he's an old man.
All right.
So, of course, this $100 million operation doesn't have a backup if a microphone or a headset doesn't work. So Evander Holyfield does not have a headset. He couldn't hear anything, and his microphone wasn't working. So at first, Evander just sat there quiet, like he's been in the game enough to know, just shut your fucking mouth. It'll pass, right? Well, these two brilliant non-commentators start telling Lennox Lewis, who's not a commentator, who's a boxer, ask Evander this. They're like, ask Evander what he thinks about, what does he think Mike has to do to survive the fight, right? Lennox Lewis looks at Evander and asks a completely different question that had nothing to do with the question they just asked him to ask. They were like, ask him what he thinks Mike has to do to win this fight.
Well,
and
let me ask you something. Why are they relaying their questions through?
Because Evander's headphones weren't working.
What were they in different locations or something?
No, but it was so loud in the stadium. They're in the stadium. So it was so loud in the stadium that Evander couldn't hear.
Lean over and
it was a big table. It was like a full screen size table. I mean, it was a big table.
It was like the size of Metallica stage.
No, it wasn't that big. It was dumb. I agree with you. It was dumb. But right. The dumber part is, why are you even ignore him if he can't hear you? Move on. But they didn't. They asked the question about, what do you think Mike has to do? Lennox Lewis leans right over to Evander Holyfield and goes, do you think that Mike's going to bite Jake Paul on the ear? I mean, a total different question. It was fucking ridiculous. And the two announced people were like, no, that's not what we asked. But whatever. And Evander's like mumbling into a microphone that doesn't work. So you can't hear his fucking answer. It was just a fucking train wreck. So then, at some point, they go down to the guy or the girl that's in the crowd interviewing celebrities. And they run into Shaq and Rob Gronkowski from the Patriots. And I don't know what the fuck. I think Shaq was drunk because they were asking him something and he started talking about starting his own boxing league, about fucking celebrities fighting athletes and athletes fighting other. I don't know what he was talking about. And then he's like Gronkowski jumps in and is like, he asked Gronkowski, he's like, well, you'd be in that, right? And he's like, yeah, I'll fuck you up. It was just like, or he said, Rob's my friend. He's like, no, I'm not. I fucking hate you or something. It was so bizarre. It was so
disjointed.
Everything was bad. So then there's another part right before Tyson, and this is kind of, you've probably seen the clips of this. Right before Tyson was about to do his walkout to the ring, right? Maybe 10 minutes.
Right.
They hired Mike's son to be an announcer. Mike's son goes backstage to interview Mike. Mike comes over, does the interview with him. It's just 2 or 3 questions, you know. Mike turns and walks away. He's not wearing any fucking pants.
I did see that. He's like wearing some kind of like a like.
Oh, it was the cup protector, the cock protector or whatever.
Right.
But he's not wearing any pants. Is there no producer
to cut away or?
Yeah, well, is there no producer to say, Mike, put on your fucking shorts, or wait, or we'll come back to you in 5 minutes when you've got your pants on? Again, $100 million broadcast.
Right, of course.
And they can't figure out that you might not want to interview the guy when he's not wearing any pants.
Right.
What the fuck were they thinking? So then moving forward to the actual, dude, it was bizarre. The actual ringside announcers were Mauro Ranallo, who is usually great. He really is. He's a great. I've seen him do a bunch of Bellator and PFL and stuff and WWE. I mean, he's a great announcer for combat sports. Probably the best in the game right now at it. They have him. They have Roy Jones Jr. Again, Roy's a, former champion. He's fought Mike. Makes sense, I guess. And Rosie Perez.
She's still around?
She's still around. She was the commentator last night.
Rosie Perez?
Rosie Perez.
The last time I heard the name Rosie Perez was like 1996 or some shit.
My cousin Vinny or something. It's like... And she added exactly nothing to the content.
Why would she? I mean, seriously, what Rosie Perez?
Yeah, they said, well, she's a big fight fan. I was like, well, I'm a big fight fan. Nobody asked me. I could have done the same job that she did, as just fucking.
Yeah, she was like hot for a minute, like in the mid to late 90s, I think.
Yeah. Somebody posted it. I thought it was funny. They said the reason they got her was they needed somebody that looked like they'd been punched in the face a few times.
Holy shit. I haven't seen Rosie Perez in 25 years or more.
Yeah, it was dumb. There was no reason for Rosie Perez to be in this thing.
That's crazy. I didn't even know she was even still existed.
Yeah, well, she's still there, but
All right.
she added almost nothing. I mean, she was trying. I'll give her credit where credit's due. She was trying.
Why didn't they bring Cyndi Lauper out? Isn't her father or somebody like a former wrestler or some shit?
There's former female boxers. How about any one of them? But they brought Rosie Perez, but for some reason her microphone was too low. So every time she would try to say something in the commentary for the whole night, for the whole 4 hours of this broadcast, it'd be Mauro Ranallo would be like, well, and Serrano hits her in the face with a wicked left hook. Well, that's what I thought I heard. It was like, what is this? Again, I was more frustrated with the broadcast than I was with the fights.
It's like trying to listen to your co-host Seth on a
Well, he's getting better. Seth is getting better now with his microphone. But that was bad. Then Roy Jones had nothing to say. First of all, Roy Jones showed up in a sweater. And I know this is me being uber picky.
Right.
You're at a fucking fight, the biggest fight of the year, and you're wearing a goddamn... He looked like a school teacher. He's wearing like a school teacher sweater. I was like, what is he doing? And then he just added nothing to the... Most of the fights, he just said, yeah. A lot of yes. And like during the Tyson fight, all he kept saying was, I don't like the way Mike looks on his feet. He must have said that exact sentence 35 times. I don't like the way Mike looks on his feet.
All right.
And then Mauro Ranallo, who is usually unbelievably good, was goddamn word salad all night long. He was just making up stuff, looking for funny lines, I guess. I thought he was drunk because he sucked too. And the whole broadcast was just bad. And then the fight was terrible. Tyson got paid $20 million. All
right. He probably needs it too.
Yeah, he might need it, but he made $20 million. He landed 19 punches. 19 total punches in 8 rounds.
All right.
He made $1 million for every time he hit this fucking guy. And then Jake Paul didn't impress me much either. It looked like he could have taken Mike out and he didn't. And probably because ironically or not, he's the promoter as well. His company was the promotional entity, MVP Promotions.
So what is Jake Paul's claim to fame? What is his
YouTube?
Make as real? Yeah, I know he's a YouTuber, so that's his claim to fame as being a YouTuber guy.
Yeah.
So what makes him a boxer?
Just decided during the pandemic that he was going to be a boxer.
Oh, so then he said, I'm going to take on a 60-year-old man?
Well, that's what he's been doing. Everybody that he's fought so far, he's trying to pretend. It's the weirdest fucking thing. I don't know why anybody gives it any love. He's fighting all these guys that are has-beens or never was. Okay. He's fought, I think, let me look up his fights. I saw this today, and I was like, who's watching this shit? But then there I was watching it last night like an idiot.
Well, you did.
Just that one.
So this Jake Paul is 27 years old, and he's taking on a Mike Tyson who's almost 60?
Yes. It was dumb. Of course he's going to...
So this Mike Tyson has 30 years on this guy.
Yeah.
And he's going to fight him in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. So here's...
That's...
Yeah, it was dumb.
What a bizarre thing.
Mm-hmm. So
this guy was born when Mike Tyson's career was over.
Yes.
He was born when his career was over.
Yeah.
He was born in 97.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing. It was the whole concept was the only reason that this thing sold like it did was because somewhere, somehow, people somehow believed that even at 58, they were going to see 23-year-old Mike Tyson. And they hate Jake Paul, and they hate Logan Paul, his brother, and they wanted to see these fucking Paul kids. They wanted to see one of them get their ass beat. That's why it did what it did.
All right.
But his whole career, he fought Nate Robinson, who is a basketball player. Then he fought Ben Askren. I don't know who that is. Tyrone Woodley he fought Tyrone Woodley twice. He was an MMA guy, but again, he was old and retired. Then he fought a 40-year-old Anderson Silva. I remember that from the UFC. But again, he was 40 years old, so he fought him. He lost to Tommy Fury. Then he fought retired Nate Diaz in 2023. Won that fight. Won a couple more that I don't know who these guys are. And then Tyson. But he's never fought like a legitimate fighting today fighter.
Right.
Everybody's fighting are these has-been bums that are old.
Yeah, they're 30 years older than him.
Yeah. And he's making mad money. I mean, he made $40 million last night.
Well, he only makes $40 million because the people who would watch it would pay for it, or the sponsors.
Netflix. Yeah.
The sponsors would pay for that.
Mm-hmm. Look, I respect the hell out of the Paul brothers as far as making money.
Yeah,
they clearly figured it out.
Yeah, they figured out how to market their brand and make people watch.
Yeah, but I mean, this thing last night, start to finish, was an abortion. 3 of the 4
for you as a fan, it was abortion. Mike Tyson probably walked away with a much needed money.
2 guys walked away thinking it wasn't an abortion. Jake Paul and Mike Tyson.
Right.
The rest thought it was shit.
Right, of course.
And most of the people couldn't even watch it.
What did you say Mike Tyson walked away with?
20.
All right. Much. I mean, that's a lot of scratch for.
That's a lot of coin
for one. How long did the whole thing last for?
They were 2-minute rounds. So 8 2-minute rounds and a minute in between. 25 minutes.
Yeah. 15, 20 minutes.
$1 million a minute.
$1 million a minute. Sure. Yeah. Why not do that?
Yeah. It was bad.
Is there any dignity to be recaptured here anyway? Because Mike Tyson's, history has been very soiled at the least. Just through the controversies and the jail time and the rape and the,
I think Tyson has survived all of it to where people.
Well, he has, because he's legendary in his, his ring skills back in the day when he made his name. But the fact of the matter is that Tyson is not like some stand-up citizen.
No, absolutely not.
But he walked away with $20 million in 20 minutes.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Believe me, I don't blame him at all.
Well, again, all I have to say is good for him.
Yeah. What I blame is Netflix, because here's the real problem. Netflix is supposed to host fucking football games on Christmas night. And they proved last night that they can't handle a lot of traffic. They proved last night they cannot handle. Now, admittedly, it was a lot of people. From what I read in some articles today, there was 61 million trying to watch this fight. Oh yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Well, they have 300 million subscribers.
Well, I get it, but that's amazing how many people still have an interest in being able to see that.
Yeah, but again, Mike Tyson is that icon and that almost mythical figure that people wanted to see, and they wanted to see the Paul brothers get their fucking face smashed in. I know that's why, but as you're describing to me, I did not see the thing. But more or less, it's theatrics. It was. Well, and the ironic thing is there was one good fight on the card. It was this Katie Taylor versus, I think her name is Andrea Serrano. Women's flyweight, middleweight, I don't know the women's weights. These fucking women beat the shit out of each other. The one woman, Serrano, that lost, she had a cut on her eye that was so big. It was bigger than a pussy. No lie. Because I actually thought that as I'm watching, I was like, it looks like she has a pussy on her eye.
You have pussy eye.
She did. It was a huge pussy-looking cut.
Right.
It was so big that it didn't look like a cut as much as it looked like the skin was falling off her eye socket.
It was a big slit.
It was fucking gross. It was really, really, really gross. And she clearly won this fight. Clearly. This Katie Taylor was and is the champion. She got the win. But the fight stats, she had I don't know. She probably had 200 more landed punches than the other girl. And she lost the fight. And it was, watching the fight, it should have been 6 rounds to 2. And instead they let the other girl win. And this one girl got fucking hit with a penalty point for headbutting. Because the reason she got split open was because of a headbutt. And she kept leading with her head and fucking headbutting this bitch. It was fucked up. And then everybody was 60,000, 70,000 people booing the decision. It was fucked up.
How do you even see a fight in a stadium? If you're in if you're in the nosebleed seats,
yeah,
what could you see from there?
You see everything in Dallas Stadium because they got that huge jumbotron.
Yeah, but stay at home then. If you're going to watch,
I agree with you.
If you're going to watch it on a screen anyway, might as well just sit at home.
It's the spectacle of being there, man.
I guess I was there, man.
Yeah,
so
I've got the T-shirt.
I haven't watched this, and whatever. What was the end result of the fight? What
Tyson?
Yeah, the Tyson thing. What was the end result?
Boredom. No, that was the end result.
How did the fight end? Did somebody get knocked out?
No,
it was just a decision.
Nobody hit anybody enough to get knocked out.
All right,
Jake Paul won, and he won every round because Mike just stood there. Mike stood there the whole fucking fight, biting his glove. Literally biting his glove.
He was biting his glove?
Yeah. He said it's just a nervous tick that he has. I think it was him stopping himself from beating this motherfucker silly.
So basically this was predetermined.
That's what I think.
All right. I probably would agree with that. I mean, especially with that kind of money involved. So yeah. Well, this Jake Paul, he's gonna take down the king, right?
Yeah, and it just Jake Paul did take the king in the most boring fight in history.
So he just stood there biting his glove?
Here, I'll play you some highlights.
All right. Say again, I didn't watch any of this because I was out at ZZ Top, a couple old dudes again.
ZZ Top moved more than Mike Tyson.
They were rocking the stage.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Here's some highlights. That's the only punch he landed in the fight, by the way. It really is. It's the only fucking hard punch he landed on Jake Paul the whole night.
Oh, well, Mike's got some fancy gloves.
Why not? He got $20 million. That's the tattoo he's got on his face, I think.
I noticed that. That's what I'm saying. He's got some fancy goddamn gloves.
Yeah, I'm sure some glove company probably gave him to him.
Look at all the commercial endorsements just
on the rings.
On the little sleeves on the rings.
On the ring ropes.
Experian, MetaQuest,
Yeah.
Spaten, whatever that is.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, here we go. Here's some more. Did you hear what he said? I don't like Mike's legs.
Yeah.
He says that 50 fucking times in this fight.
All right.
Legs.
Who's announcing that?
That's Roy Jones Jr.
All right, boy. He's got like a beef or something.
He got punched a couple too many times. That's Roy Jones and Rosie Perez and Mauro Ranallo.
Yeah, I was looking up Rosie Perez.
Yeah.
So her claim to fame when she hit the scene, she was 24.
Right.
She's now 60.
Yeah. Well, now
and she made her claim to fame in Do the Right Thing and White Man Can't Jump.
Yeah, a zillion years ago.
Yeah. So way back in 1989 and 1992.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, she's done some, other roles, but I think the last thing that she did was of any note, I guess. And even this movie is not that good, as Pineapple Express in 2008.
Yeah.
Almost 20 years ago.
She was like a girlfriend on Frasier for a minute.
All right.
That's about the last thing I remember her being on was Frasier. So, I don't know. Whatever. She should not have been at this goddamn event. That's for sure.
That's just funny that after all these years, they rolled her out.
Yeah. I don't know why.
To be, involved with this thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, let's watch more of these brilliant highlights of this awesome fight. Tyson's not doing shit. He's not doing nothing.
That's because he was stunned and knocked off his feet,
Either that or he probably would get paid less if it didn't go the full distance.
Right. He's like Butch on Pulp Fiction, but of course you don't like that movie, so that doesn't make any sense to you.
No. All right, here we go.
That was partially blocked by Mike's shoulder, but they're going
Tyson not doing shit.
It's, you know what? I do have to say, it is 16 more punches.
See, now look at the stats. Jake Paul threw 200 punches and landed 59. At the same time, Tyson landed 16 of 87. So he threw less than half as many punches and landed just a few. It just sucked. The whole goddamn thing sucked. We can stop there. I mean, it doesn't get any better. And then
it's bizarre.
It sucked. It's
a bizarre spectacle. But again, I just look at this as just like a cash grab.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just a engineered cash grab is what this was.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to capitalize on the legacy of Mike Tyson. We're going to capitalize on the popularity of the Logan brothers.
Yeah.
Let's, you got your peanut butter into my chocolate. You got your chocolate into my peanut butter. Let's make a great thing. Let's both walk away with a shit ton of money and let the spectators leave them holding the bag.
Mm-hmm. And that was kind of it. Everybody walked away. No one walked away from this other than Tyson and Jake Paul thinking this was great.
Yeah, with a shit ton of money.
Yeah. Everybody I know walked away with it of, God, why did I waste 4 fucking hours with this shit?
And the problem with this is if something spectacle like this were to crop up again, people would still go back.
Yeah, of course. Dude, at the end of the fight, Mike said he might fight again.
Right, of course.
I was like, are you kidding?
Years old.
I can't. I wouldn't even watch it, and I love Mike. I mean, I'm a total Mike Tyson fan, and I wouldn't watch him fight again. He didn't fight last night. He was there, but he did not fight last night.
Well, he fought for that $20 million he took home.
No, he stood around for that $20 million that he took home. He didn't fight, dude. I have thrown more punches in a bar fight, and that's not even a joke. He landed 19 punches in 8 rounds.
Yeah, but you don't have $20 million to show for your bar fights.
Believe me, I wish I did. I would happily stand in the ring with Jake Paul for fucking $20 million. I'd let him knock me to fucking oblivion.
Would.
Yeah, I'd let him knock me silly.
Right, of course.
Give a shit. The only thing he's fighting is dementia.
No, that's Joe Biden.
Yeah, it just was bad.
Right.
Very disappointing.
I'm glad you spent your time doing that. I spent my time watching some old ass ZZ Top.
Yeah, and I don't know who saw more action. Probably you.
Well, I saw them do this.
Well, that's more. You saw what I saw. It was more terrible.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap up the show.
Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here.
I was not aware of all this action-packed adventure that took on last night.
Yeah, it was something.
But thanks for enlightening me.
Well, hey, anytime. That's my role here, isn't it? Keep track of the TV.
Exactly. All right. Well, we appreciate everybody who's tuned in. We will be back next Saturday, hopefully, and maybe do this all over again. You'll keep me up to date with the latest developments on Anthony Cumia, right?
I will, yes.
And I'll keep you up to date on my my potential whereabouts.
Yep.
And we'll do this one way or the other. And for those of you in the locals who support the show, we may be doing something tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern time.
Yes, we'll see. But just keep track of it. Keep your eye on locals. I'll announce it as soon as I know.
All right. Fair enough. All right. I have a departing request here from a longtime CMS fan, Tim Callis.
Okay.
He would like to hear something that I think both you and I can get on board with.
Okay.
He wants to hear Death Angel to
Like
take
that.
us out of the show, and we're going to leave you with Falling Asleep.
All right. Perfect.
So until next Saturday night, potentially, this is Neely along with my very good friend,
Chris Aiken.
We're gone.
Bye, kids.
At Reliable Odds and Ends, we bring quality and convenience right to your door. From light fixture and faucet replacements to vanity installations, vinyl flooring, and baseboard updates, our skilled team takes care of it all. Need a new garbage disposal or smart thermostat? We've got you covered. Whether it's exhaust fans, grab bars, or curtain rods, we handle the details so you can enjoy the results. And with 24/7 availability, even for emergencies, you can count on us anytime. Call us today at 330-333-2742 or visit reliableoddsandends.com to schedule your service. Reliable Odds and Ends, your trusted home solution, always just a call away.